Chapter 3 Karma Yoga, the Path of Action. Arjuna questioned, "My lord, you are adding to my confusion. If knowledge is above action, why do you advise me to engage in this terrible fight? Fighting is action. Please be clearer. Which is the best path for my spiritual welfare?" Lord Krishna replied, "In this world there are two paths. There is the path of knowledge for the contemplative person, and the path of action for the busy, action-orientated person. Remember, true knowledge is knowing the Atman, the true self within. When you clarify your intellect through either contemplation or selfless action, you get to realize the Atman. Both paths lead to realization of the self. No person can attain freedom or perfection by merely refusing to act. They cannot even for a moment remain really inactive, for the qualities of nature, such as eating, sleeping, and breathing, will compel them to act. They who remain motionless, refusing to act, but all the while brooding over sensuous objects, that deluded soul is simply a hypocrite. But Arjuna, they whose mind controls the senses, they are beginning to practice Karma Yoga, the path of right action, keeping themselves always unattached. Do your duty, Arjuna, for duty-orientated action is superior to inaction. In this world, people are bound to the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth by their actions, unless their actions are performed as a sacrifice. When the person offers up both the action and the fruits of that action to divinity, then that action is non-binding. Therefore, Arjuna, let your acts be done without attachment, as a sacrifice only. Sacrifice in this case meaning helping, offering, actions in some way dedicated to the well-being of all humanity. Consider nature. All creatures are the product of food. Food is the product of rain. Rain comes from sacrifice by nature, and sacrifice is the noblest form of action. Arjuna, when you strike a balance in life between giving and getting, when you engage in selfless service, which is sacrifice, your desires are fulfilled, unasked by nature. Righteous people give more than they receive. Indebted ones get more than they give. The one who receives without giving is stealing. Even eat your food in the spirit of sacrifice. Then you are freed from the strong attachment of tastiness and enjoyment that so quickly binds one to physical gratification, which is a bottomless pit. Those who do not contribute in some way to the betterment of all mankind, but instead lead a sinful life, rejoicing in the gratification of their senses, they squander their life. On the other hand, the soul who meditates on the Atman within, who is content to serve the Atman, and rests satisfied within the Atman, there remains nothing more for them to accomplish. They have nothing to gain or lose but the success or failure of their actions. Their welfare does not depend on any contribution that any earthly creature can make. Each selfless act done by this person contributes to Brahman, the highest form of divinity. Therefore, do your duty, in your case as a warrior prince, perfectly, without care for the outcome, for they who do their duty attain the supreme. This world is a learning ground, a place to discipline, train, and to elevate all beings. Make this process as automatic as your breath or heartbeat. If we decline to learn, we cannot derive the benefit. There is nothing in this universe, Arjuna, that I am compelled to do, nor anything for me to attain, yet I am persistently active. For if I were to stop action, people would be glad to do likewise, and if I were to cease to act, the human race would be ruined. It would lead the world to cosmic chaos, and destruction would follow. As the ignorant act for their own selfish desires, so should the wise act without such attachment, fixing their eyes only on the welfare of the world, towards Dharma, right action. Do not confuse the ignorant who are hungry for selfish action. Let them continue to work, but show them by example that work can be made sacred when done in the right spirit, with the heart fixed on divinity, thus inspiring all to do the same. Action is the product of the qualities inherent in nature. It is only the ignorant person who, misled by personal egotism, says, "I am the doer." All action is performed by worldly nature, not the self or the Atman within. The Atman is beyond all action, beyond all karma. The wise one, aware of this, stands apart and watches this play of nature. They do not refrain from action, surrendering their actions to me, their thoughts concentrated on the Absolute. Free from selfish desires, they go forth and fight the battle of life. Arjuna asks, "My Lord, tell me what is it that drives a man to sin, even against his will, as if by compulsion?" Lord Krishna replies, "It is desire. Desire consumes and corrupts everything. It is man's greatest enemy. As fire is shrouded in smoke, a mirror by dust, and a child by the womb, true knowledge is concealed by desire." Selfish desires are bottomless pits. The more you feed them, the more they crave. And anger is always linked with desire. The desire-anger combination is your most formidable enemy in life. Desires are enemies when directed outward, but allies when pointed inward towards divinity. To spiritually advance people, desire is like the smoke, and it is easily blown away to reveal the light of knowledge. For worldly caught people, desire is more like the dust that requires vigorous wiping so that the light can shine. For really dull persons, desire so enfold them, they are like the embryo, buried in the darkness. Only time and a new birth will bring light. Greed is desire swollen to grotesque size. It is our likes and dislikes that give birth to one's nature. One might argue that if we are pawns of our own nature, why bother to restrain it? The idea is not to restrain your nature, but to progressively improve your nature. The senses are powerful, but beyond the senses is the mind. Beyond the mind is the intellect. And far beyond and greater than intellect is the Atman. Therefore, Arjuna, first control your senses and then slay desire, so that the Atman can shine. Thank you for watching so far. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like button. If you're new here, please subscribe. This will ensure that more people can find this resource. Click the notification button so that you can be the first to know about new uploads. And please do comment below. I'll do my best to reply to any questions. Thank you.